your diet can drastically reduce your joint pain and arthritis.
Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom. First and foremost, let us give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutation to the whole elect. Real quick, it says several thousand U.S. forces putting on heightened preparedness amid Russia-Ukraine tensions. This war in possible Ukraine, all right? I was listening to a couple of clips earlier. The Pentagon and different agencies throughout Babylon was talking about possibly deploying troops on Friday, depending on how this situation goes. All right, so these are once again wars and rumors of wars. All right, proceeding to the return of our Lord and Savior, indeed Yahweh Shai, which is set to return in these latter times. Okay, so we're at those times, brothers, man. So real quick, I want to read this article, and I'll go into a couple of quick precepts, because now we should be focusing more on this World War III and the MOTB infrastructure, because they all go hand in hand with global economics and the tensions among the world with these other superpowers, so to speak. Okay, so it says the United States has heightened. Give me 1 second. It says has heightened the readiness of some 8,500 U.S. troops amid tensions between Russia and NATO over potential invasion of Ukraine. But no decisions have been made yet to deploy them, right? So they said no decisions have been made, but when I was reading to a couple, looking at a couple of podcasts, they was talking about a possibility of deploying on Friday. So we'll see. But nonetheless, we're in those times, man. All right, because hey, World War III, the war to end all wars, baby. So hey, let's go. And it says here, Secretary Austin has placed a range of units in the United States on a heightened preparedness to deploy, which increases our readiness to provide forces if NATO should activate the NATO National Response Force, the Pentagon press said on Monday. And another thing too, since they're spread out so thin, they don't have enough troops. So what they can do is possibly reinstate another draft. Because I remember an article came out last year talking about how women can very well be recruited to go to war. Okay, so hey man, things are getting ready to get rough. All right, so hey, you people out there, your fun and games, your bread and circus, your mirth, that's getting ready to be dim real quick, especially if this thing carries on over for some months. So it says the NATO NRF is a multinational rapid response force comprised of land, air, maritime, and special operation forces. And one thing about America you can say is they got the air game on lock. And that's where they put a lot of their money when it comes to military drills and dual alliances and so forth, because, hey, they're known as the eagle. And they adopted the spirit of the eagle because the eagle is the bird that flies the highest out of every bird. And they pride themselves in their military, which when you look at the emblem of America is that of the eagle. So it says the United States deeply concerned about the current situation in Europe. It says we remain keenly focused on Russia's unusual military activities near the Ukrainian border, including the Belarus, and consulting extensively with our transatlantic allies and partners. It says the department continues to support the diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation, because that's what they want. They don't want this fucking place to be destroyed, man. They want to de-escalate, but let's just say if this was North Korea, or if this was a place like Afghanistan, you know what I'm saying, like a little hermit nation like that, or Libya, they'll be quick to blow them off the map. But when it comes to another superpower, they bitching up, man, because they ultimately know that World War III, a clash between Russia and America would end in the demise of the westernized civilization, man, and they know that. So Esau is basically bitching up because he don't want to lose his kingdom. Nonetheless, man, hey, go ahead and just be done with it. Let it be what it is, because, hey, like I said, we're tired of being here. So, instead of you looking for a diplomatic solution and you're going to sneak and put sanctions on them because you want to do your bidding, Yahweh Shai is going to escalate this war anyway, because the scriptures say that the Lord is in the king's heart is in the hand of the Most High. All right. So it says, now, as the president has said, even as we continue to prioritize the diplomacy and dialogue, we must also increase readiness in support of its obligations to the security and defense of NATO and the security of its citizens abroad. He continued. But then again, NATO and the EU is going to come against America. But it says the Pentagon announcement comes at the same day that the NATO said that it would send fighter jets and ships to Eastern Europe. But Denmark is sending a frigate to the Baltic Sea and a 4 F-16 fighter jets to Lithuania. See, these westernized nations are getting involved, but like I said, something's going to happen that's going to turn the alliance away from America, and they're going to turn against it. And it says, and Spain is also sending ships to join NATO naval forces in the region, and is considering sending fighter jets to Bulgaria, the statement read. It says France said it was opening to send troops to Romania, and the Netherlands also said it would send 2 F-35 fighter aircrafts to Bulgaria in April. All right, so they plan on being down there for some time. But last week, U.S. officials told Fox News that the State Department is ordering families of the U.S. Embassy staff in Kyiv, Ukraine, to begin evacuating, and that they will encourage Americans to leave the country on commercial flights while they remain available. While Moscow has massed tens of thousands of troops along the Ukraine border, prompting fears of invasion. So we're going to see how this is going to go. But through the spirit, man, this shit is getting ready to turn up. All right. And I don't see this de-escalating, you know, maybe here and there. But overall, I don't really see this de-escalating, because now, you know, like I said, we're in a global economic downturn. And the other nations, they're feeling that. So therefore, they're using their commodities to keep their economy sustained, because once the dollar collapses, it's going to affect the global economy, which is going to bring in war. All right. So you can expect a world war any day now. All right. So this is the book of Ezekiel 38, and I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, and again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophecy against them was those ancient Japhetic nations. But Esau, Edom, took over those nations and assumed the identity of the sons of Japhet, man. And it says, and today, thus says the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief priest of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thy army and horsemen, and all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So this is talking about war. All right. Like U.S., they're deploying strategies to take over the Eastern Bloc. That's one reason why they want to destabilize North Korea. They want to destabilize China. But they're using these same nations at the same time to do their agenda. Because at the end of the day, all the elites of these nations, from Russia, Ukraine, to North Korea, China, all right, Russia, America, all of the elites of these societies are in cahoots with one another to get the NWO on and going. But they need what they call collateral damage from the people, so therefore they can profit. Because if they was to survive World War III, shit, man, they would be gazillionaires, man. Because all war are bankers' wars, and they bring in a mass fortune of profiteering, man. Profiting off people's misery. Okay? That's why they said that, hey, you got to buy when blood is pretty much running in the streets. And that's war. Because America pretty much became the top dominant power after World War II. After they dropped the atomic bomb. You know, they became the dominant power. And then all of a sudden, the U.S. dollar was established as the central reserve currency. What the coincidence, right? So this war is the same thing, man. The Third Reich into this Fourth Reich is the same nations that's playing ball with one another. You know, just different times. But like the scriptures say, behold, the second war is past. Behold, the third war coming quickly. Because during the time of the Soviet Union and the Cold War, that was pretty much the start of World War III. It was over a prolonged period of time. That's why it tells you in Ezekiel 38 that the Most High was going to put hooks back into Russia's jaws. Because this is talking about Russia. All right. And it says here in Persia and Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah, which is going into the Turks, you know, the Turks, you know, which out of the Ottoman Empire. You got Edomites, you got Ishmael, because Esau lay with the daughters of Ishmael. All right, how you get the Ottoman Turks, and you got some Jakes among there too. And it says the house of Togarmah and of the north quarters and all his bands and many people with thee. So be prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. Okay, so hey, Russia has to back these other nations, because let's just say that if America gets in this war to fight Ukraine, then and Russia gets involved, then Russia's allies have to back them up. So I'm thinking that something else is going to happen in the midst of this so-called invasion, or whatever they want to call it, that's going to get the opposing sides to kind of line up to play chess, man. Because at the end of the day, Israel and Iran, they're going to go to war, because America is going to go to war with Russia, man. You know, and I can't wait, because while you got all hell breaking loose in the Middle East, all right, you're going to have all hell breaking loose in America. So you're going to have a third war that's being fought, an economic depression on the verge of collapse, with the MOTB being passed, okay, certain mandates, people going to literally be in the streets rioting, killing one another, you know, pandemonium. Like we are in DEFCON 3 right now. We getting ready to hit DEFCON 2. And in a time of war, they cut all communications, man. So, hey, brothers, you know, we got to keep our eyes glued to prophecy, man. That's why I tell you in our second Ezra, the 15th chapter, verse 1, speak in the ears of my people prophecy. All right. Speak thou, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, says Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Okay, right. And it's coming to pass. All right. Breaking down Ezekiel 38, we go through the whole chapter and show you point by point exactly what's happening in the world. You know, but you got guys out there that's talking about bearing false witness isn't a lie. Yes, the hell it is, dog. If you bearing false witness, you're lying on somebody, bruh. You know, like bearing false witness, it's a lie. If I say that I saw you do something and you didn't do it, or I'm twisting the shit, I'm bearing false witness. You know? So these guys are through, man. All right. But it says here, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And as I stated, they're coming to pass. All right. So this is the book of Isaiah 13:1. It says, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amos, did see. All right, which Isaiah is a prophet of the Lord. Verse 2, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. The banner is the scriptures. The high mountain is America. Exalt the voice into them. Shake the hand that they may go into the gates of the nobles, which is your elites, okay, starting with your mayors, your governors, your Congress, your Senate, you know, your presidents, then the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Bilderberg, etc. They all are getting a taste of this word, man. This is the reason why they're panicking now, and this is the reason why they're speeding up their agenda. And it says here, I have commanded my sanctified ones, and I've also called my mighty ones for my anger, even when they rejoice in my hidings, because you got the angels out there. Okay, you got these other nations, etc., that's going to do the bidding of the Lord. And it says, in the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, and a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together, world war. All right. And it says, and the Lord of the hosts mustereth the host of the battle, right? Because the angels is working on the mindsets of these kings and princes of the world through via Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And it says, and they come from a far country, from the ends of heaven, even Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. And what land is it talking about? Babylon the Great, aka America. It says, howl ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, and it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Because this is the Lord's purpose, to wipe this damn place off the face of the earth. Okay, and honestly, it's about time. Okay, we've suffered this place for long enough, and that little season is just about ended. All right, and it says here, therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. Right, because when they're seeing these ICBMs hitting different provinces of these cities, pocket news going off, people are going to be in disbelief, because they never thought it would happen in Babylon. But if people put two and two together and you read in the prophecy, a lot of the prophecies are referring to America being destroyed, man. And all the prophets saw it in the vision. And we're speaking of the visions that the prophets saw. Why? Because we're the ones that wrote it and had the visions. We're just coming back to break down what we wrote and what we've seen in the vision and giving you understanding now, because, hey, shit, we didn't understand it back then. Like, you're going to have these bug outs going to say, well, there's no need for prophets right now. Well, if there wasn't no need for prophets, man, you wouldn't understand what the hell was going on in Russia. You wouldn't understand the MOTB prophecy. You wouldn't understand who the tribes are according to the scriptures if you didn't need prophets, man. So that's a cut. All right. And it says here, and they should be afraid, and pangs and sorrow should take hold of them, and they should be in pain as a woman that travaileth, and they should be amazed one at another, and their faces should be as flames, right? Because they're going to get their ass melted, man. All right. Because the the casualty of this war is going to be innumerable, bro. Like Esau and the other nations burying the dead alone for 7 months. That's going to take it's a lot of dead bodies. And who's to say 7 months is just a complete number? It can be 7 years, you know what I'm saying? It could very well take that long, because, you know, that means we're going to put y'all to work for y'all to be burying all the dead bodies in the Middle East. And it take you 7 months. That means we're going to be on you. You know, so 7 is just a completion. Because we ain't going to bury a damn thing. We going to put you to do it. And it reads here, and behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. And he should destroy the sinners there out of it, which is you Israelites, man. And you other nations, because Esau, Edom, you attempted to adopt the covenant of the Most High, all right, by setting up your false churches, your false leaders, saying in God we trust, which that God you trust in is actually spiritual demon Satan. But the fact you took the mantle upon yourself to say you believe in a higher power, so therefore you're gonna be judged by that, and you ain't keeping the law, so your ass gonna get destroyed, man. All right, because all nations are supposed to rule by the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, so the Lord can show favor into that society, to his people. Because if Esau taught the law, statutes, and commandments and taught Jake to keep them, blessings will come upon our people through this fucking devil, man. You know, but hey, Esau, he don't know how to play ball. And it says here, for the stars of heaven and the constellation thereof should not give their light, and the sun should be darkened in its going forth, and the moon should not cause our light to shine, going into your wisdom and understanding. Because now you're going to have Sylvia Brown prototypes, you're going to have your prognosticators, you're going to have your elites, your magi's, attempted to break down what's happening, but they're going to give you a lie. Because when you look at a lot of these witches and warlocks and these wizards, you know, they tell you that, oh, well, America is going to survive the nuclear war, the elites are going to reign supreme, but the Bible don't say that, okay? So that's why it says the stars of heaven and the constellations should not give their light, right? And that's also talking about literal too, because once you have nuclear war and you have a mid-war, you're not going to be able to see the constellations because there's going to be so much black smoke in the air from rockets being shot up, you know. So you can look at it that way too. But it says here, and I will punish the world for their evil and their wickedness for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. And you people are proud as hell, man. You people are extremely proud, walking around with your face diapers on, bragging about the the 3-pointers you done took, and your ass getting ready to drop dead. Talking about the bag. Niggas talking about 2022, we chasing a bag. Only bag your ass gonna be chasing is a fucking body bag, man. All right, because the Most High's finna shut this whole goddamn society down any day now. All right, and we can't wait. And it says, and I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than a golden wedge of Ophir. Okay, which going into the gold, you know, gold. Ophir is a very, very delicate and how can I say, very wealthy form of gold, man. Okay, like I believe apostles went into it and was breaking it down how Ophir represented, like over here in the West, America, so forth, because a lot of the gold they found in Richport, which is Puerto Rico, from all the times that you had what they called we had a navy, pretty much Solomon, and a lot of gold and so forth was sucking in those ships. Even then, pirates and so forth were there trying to rob certain ships. They said that the ships or the gold was so heavy to the point that it sunk the ship, and you still got gold at the bottom of the sea. And this is why Esau is doing he's on his Jacques Cousteau type tip, you know, because hey, they know the wealth was there, you know. And it says, and therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place. How? Through nuclear war. And then the wrath of the Lord of hosts in the day of his fierce anger. And it should be as a chase row, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. And it says, and they shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into their own land, right? Because, you know, prime example, Ishmael, if he can't profit anymore off the particular trades and loans and so forth that Esau is giving him, then there's no point for him to stay over here, because the other nations are looking and saying, oh, America is done. There's no more money to be made over here. You know, like they said, they printed the most money that they ever printed within the last 2 years. So every US dollar in circulation has been printed within the last 2 years, meaning that they're overloading. So therefore a collapse and a bubble burst is coming. And it says here, and everyone that is found should be thrust through, and everyone that is joined to them should fall by the sword. Okay, and their children shall also be dashed into pieces before their eyes, and their houses should be spoiled and their wives ravished, right? Because hey, you're gonna have an invasion on US soil as well. Verse 17, and behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which should not regard silver, and as for gold, they should not delight in it. And the Medes are the Russians, the Persians and the Medes, the Iranians, the Russians, the Eastern Bloc. And their bows shall also dash the young men, which is the missiles, to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb, and their eyes should not spare children. In Babylon, the glory of the kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency should be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, which shows you that this is going to be a global nuclear destruction, man, or a nuclear destruction in certain parts of the world. Okay, Salakia, not globally as far as every nation being destroyed, but here in the West. Okay, because I speculate the fire and brimstone that was rained down from heaven were the chariots that destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, just if you think about it. But it says here, and it should never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Okay, because it's going to be destroyed. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, which is you Ishmaelites. Neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and the owl shall dwell there, and satyr shall dance there. And the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. And our time is near to come, and our days shall not be prolonged. So, hey, you can kiss this place goodbye, man, any day now. But with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom, Wa Ba Ba Ba.